I had this thought that we should do like a question and answer period. I was divinely guided. So I don't know if you guys saw the flyer enough to prepare questions, but if you have a question, a personal question, or just a general universe kind of question, that's what we're going to do right now. Anybody have any questions? If not, we can do the video again if hopefully I'll get it right. Patty, you want to?
Just share how people are always asking, how do I know if my loved one's near me? So share all the ways that they can be.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I believe there are several ways to know that you love ones around you. For one, I feel like you feel that energy. Like when I was discussing my friend Jamie that passed, and that energy comes close to you and it kind of renews that grief of that loss. Another way is sometimes you might feel a chill or some sort of physical reaction and have that, I don't feel like I'm all by myself anymore feeling. Another way, which I think is interesting because I think this was happening to me before I realized what was going on, but all of a sudden a relative would pop in my head. Just out of nowhere, there wasn't a logical thought process, but all of a sudden I was thinking about them. Now I believe it's they're here and they're letting us know that they're here. Synchronicities. So, as Alex said, most of us do not believe in coincidence. So you might get a sign like radio playing, a song that makes you think of that person. I mean, sometimes I get creative with like numbers and things that you see, whether it's your loved ones or angels, they're always pointing out that they're around you. I'm seeing that license plate again. Louis and I were coming back from an Acres of Wildlife event and driving back, and I was telling him how I know that I'm on the right path because I'm seeing my birthday on a license plate, which is 5/23. And I said, sometimes I see the whole, with the year and everything, which I'm not going to mention. I had that wasn't what, 2 minutes later? I said, oh my gosh, and there was a license plate that said 523 and those other two numbers I'm not going to mention. That made me 29, right, Mindy?
Right.
So there's those, so pay attention to the things that happen. Don't write them off as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Thank you, Patty. Yes?
Speaking of numbers, I always see 111 or 1111. Lately, that's been for a while, but lately it's been 333, 444, 5. Every time I look at the clock, it's weird.
Okay, so I believe that means different things for different people. 1111 and 111 are high vibrational numbers, so I do believe that's divine guidance, letting you know that you're on your path.
It's not just a clock, like you said, license plates or at work. I work in dialysis unit, so on the machines I always see like 111.
Yes, so especially doing that type of work, I think that's letting you know that the angels are there and around you. The other numbers, and you know, I honestly believe that they work with whatever our belief system is. Like there's a Doreen Virtue book that has, it's about angel numbers, and so when you look that up, if that resonates with you, then that's what they're shooting for. But I also feel like seeing repetitive numbers, 333, like several times, is letting you know, I believe threes are change, and that you've got a change coming. And depending on what number it is, you know, it can mean different things, but definitely know that when you're seeing that sort of repetitive thing, and it's not the typical 1111, just to let you know, expect a change or expect some sort of positive influence or something they're letting you know about. You also have, there's a man spirit that comes in to let you know. He's showing me a number. I can't quite see what it is. I believe there's a 3 and there's a 4 in it. But I believe when you see this number, he's letting you know that he's around. So I don't know if it's his, I almost think it's a birthday. It's a March birthday maybe? Or something significant about March. 4th, 14th, 24th, something with a 3 or 4. I do feel more friend vibration than family though. And he's making me feel like he would have been about your age. And I feel like he was a jokester. Like he's making me feel like I just want to laugh. And I don't know if you're one of those people that can't remember where you put things, because he's making me feel like he moves things on you. I could have sworn I put my keys right there, and then you look around and you find them in a different spot, and you swore you left them on the counter kind of thing.
It happened to me a lot as a child in the house I grew up in. I would always like talk to whoever. And later on in life, I found out there was a boy that lived there that died of leukemia, and that back in the 50s maybe.
Oh, I'm gonna chill with that. I wonder if that's your
My
friend.
toys would move, and I would be like, okay, bring it back, you know, but it didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who he was, but.
Yeah, he's, whoever this is considering you a friend.
That's good, we played a lot.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, Janice.
After my dad passed, he started singing one of his condos, and that was his favorite bird.
Absolutely. He's almost making me feel that not only is he letting you know that he's around, I feel they're bringing them to you for comfort. I also feel like there's a certain warning. If you're doing well and everything, if you see a lot of cardinals, it could be preparing you for a change that's coming. They're using the word warning, but I don't think it's anything that you have to be afraid of or worried about. They're also showing me a bluebird, and I feel like you're going to be seeing bluebirds in the spring, and bluebirds to me are a sign of happiness. So I do feel like whatever challenges or struggles that are going on currently, there's a bluebird coming for you in the spring to lighten the load. I'll leave you with that. Somebody ever?
Yeah,
Jules?
I would, you said you've been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah.
What prompted you to take that step? Did someone tell you that you were going to be successful at it?
No. I had gone to see a medium, and probably a lot of you, I know some of you know, George Shaw. And I had never been to a medium before, and I always thought I was clever. I thought I knew things without knowing how they happened. I used to just write it off to the fact that a lot of the stuff had to do with my sister and being a twin, so I wrote it off to that. Even though like in the mornings, sometimes early mornings when I was little, I can remember having out-of-body experiences where, I'm floating up near the roof and I'm looking down and seeing my sister and I sleeping in our beds, and I would feel the cold ceiling on my back, and all of a sudden that would wake me up and I'd be back in my body. But when you're little, you don't realize things like that are weird. You just kind of accept things. But anyway, I went to see George Shaw, and it was at Silo 7, the bookstore out in Beaumark. I know some of you will remember that. And I pulled this book off the shelf that says Psychic Development for Beginners. And it was really talking about law of attraction and positive things will create what you want in your life. And I thought, well, this would be an interesting read. And my friend Nan was standing beside me, and they were just about to start, so I didn't have time to buy it. So I put it back on the shelf, and we had our reading, and a couple weeks later was Christmas, and my friend had bought it for me. So I started doing the meditations and focusing on positive things, and he went so far as in this book to say, if you visualize an empty parking space, wherever it is that you're going, close to where you're going, it's going to be there. And I found out it worked. If you visualize the green lights all being green going down the end of the street, it can happen. So I started doing those meditations, and then weird things just started happening and opening up. And my ex-husband, part of the reason why he's an ex-husband is because I scared the life out of him. But I would say, oh my God, what was that? Did you see that? And he'd say, what did you see? I said, that light that just went flying across the room. He's like, no, stop it, you're freaking me out. And then I got so, I was knowing things about him. Like, I was telling him, oh, you're gonna get that job. I feel you're gonna get that job, and he got the job. And, you know, all these things just started happening and coming true. And one morning woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to this overwhelming smell of sugar cookies. Nobody's baking in my house at 5 a.m. So as I was getting all these signs from all these spirits, so doing the meditations opened me up, and I think it opened that door, and then I realized I'm not so clever. I've just been hearing them my whole life. And then, an interesting story, there was a man, John Flood, who did mediumship development classes, and I signed up to take his classes, and went to the first one, and his wife, Darlene, was doing it. And he was in the hospital, he was sick. And that progressed, and I only had a couple classes with him, and then John passed. And since then, he's been a guide, I know, to a few of us in here. And as a matter of fact, he was in my class last Wednesday, wasn't he, Alex? Yes. So I remember after he passed and Darlene wasn't going to do classes anymore, I'm like, okay, if I am really supposed to do this, help me find a way to take more classes, to know what I'm doing. And honest to God, I had met this man, Dewey Grant, maybe like a month before this down at Camp Etna. I spent the first 5 years of my life at Camp Etna. And was down there one day at the Healing Rock, because I didn't remember it from my childhood, and Dewey came over and started talking to me, and we started up a conversation, and he brought me back and introduced me to his wife, Arlene, and she's like, wow, the light's really strong with you, and so she started giving me very encouraging messages. So that was a month previous to John passing. And then, so I had asked, okay, show me what I need to do. All of a sudden one day at a daycare, there's a knock on my door. Open the door, there's Dewey Grant standing there. And I'm like, he goes, I knew I would find you. He knew I lived in Carmel, but I didn't tell him my address or anything. He showed up at my door and he said, I just had to come tell you that they're doing classes at Camp Medicine, and Arlene and I are going next Wednesday if you want to follow us up. Wow, thank you. So that led me on my journey between classes, and I had a wonderful teacher, John Davidson, who was very pushy like I am, right, Alex? You know, making me stand up in front of people, and nope, I'm not ready. And he literally would drag me up to give messages. And I got good feedback, and then the progression over 15 years, and here I am standing in front of you being all silly. Jane.
My smoke detectors in my house keep going off at all different times. It's always 3 beeps. Beep, beep, beep. And sometimes it's extremely loud. And then other times just a little soft beep, beep, beep. In different places of the house.
So I'm hearing that there's energetic forces, and what I'm hearing is traveling through your house. So I feel like loved ones have figured out that they can make that beep. Do you ever, when you hear it, is there anybody that ever pops in your mind? Like I feel like, well, at least going forward, when it happens again, just kind of think, who is it, and see what happens.
Every time I associate, and I'm just kind of trying to think, is it my grandmother from my mother's side? Because we never got to know her.
I feel like she's just one of the people that come to visit. I'm also hearing, I've got a mail coming in, and he's saying that if it gets annoying, if it's happening at night, ask them to not do it. But he's making me feel like he's more of a guide for you. But I do feel like it's just their way of showing you that they're around and this love. And did you check the batteries a lot or something? He's making me feel like he checked batteries or did tests with it, but it still keeps doing it.
No. It's a brand new home, and everything was installed by the electricians and whatnot. And ever since we moved into this house, probably, I don't know, a few months later, the beeping. And I will look and I keep track of every time it beeps and what I'm thinking and what was happening in the household at the time. And I've always felt really
You've
good.
never taken it down? I'm seeing you take it down. No? Okay. I wonder if you should.
Well, I guess maybe that's.
I do feel like it's super sensitive for some reason. So I don't know if looking into that would, if you want the beeps to stop.
No, I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
All right, then leave it.
It's
Don't
never
take it
at
down.
nighttime. That's
Okay.
why I think it's odd. So I feel like it's somebody talking to me.
I'm not exactly sure what he's showing me, but I'm seeing people like walk past it and it's going off. I'm assuming that these are spiritual people, that it's the energy that's making it go off. But I'm seeing a male and I'm seeing an older lady that isn't very tall compared to the male. But I feel like it's funny to them.
I think it's funny. I love it.
So we have a friend of ours that talks about a washing machine that beeps, and she got so that she would ask it yes or no questions. And I thought she was crazy till one day in our class it was just her and I, and honest to God, the CD player that we have at the church, like we were playing this meditation CD and she was doing a reading for me just for practice, and the meditation CD ended and there was a voice that came out of this boombox, like this deep male voice, and I was listening to her and she was giving me the reading, so neither one of us caught what it said, but it was like, okay, well, I totally buy the washing machine thing now. I don't know if it's just her energy and with the electronics, but I've never heard an EVP live like that before. I was so excited. Yes?
I have a question. I was very fortunate to be able to be with my dad when he passed and have time to tell him how much I loved him. And I thanked him for always being there for me. He said he always would be. Very weak voice, but he said, and I always will be. I like to think dragonflies, he might come around. I had never seen so many dragonflies in my life as I saw in my backyard one day. It was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like whatever we associate with that person, like the cardinals, and some people, it's, pennies or dimes. As a matter of fact, for some reason, Jen had to run and get me something at Hannaford, and they gave me all dimes back. And so I went to put my change away, but felt I had to leave 5 dimes. So I don't know if there's somebody in here that gets left dimes, or if there's something about 50 cents, but I had to leave 5 dimes up there, and they told me that we'd know why. Somebody's saying pennies from heaven and inflation, so it starts down. They all have a really good sense of humor. Yeah, so your dad is with you with the dragonflies. I also feel like, I don't know if you've had a dream about him or if he's conversing with you at night, because I'm seeing him stand beside your bed at night. And I feel like, I don't know if there's been a recent challenge or a recent worry, but he's making me feel like he's just telling you, don't worry, it's going to be fine, don't worry, it's going to be fine.
He touched my shoulder. I thought it was the cat. And that was at night when I was laying down in bed. And I turned to see if it was the cat. And I just felt it was him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. He's with you now. He's behind you, so. Yeah, I think somebody else will be bringing him in too. Don?
Could you elaborate? Well, I don't know if it's elaborate, but I feel just kind of talk about angels and that, like the archangels, for instance, and how we all can connect to them, and that it's not just like this archangel is coming to this person, because that archangel can go to many people in time and space.
Absolutely. So are you guys hearing the question about angels and how they connect to us? So we all have access to all that angelic energy, and all we need to do is just ask for their assistance. Angels and our spirit loved ones are not supposed to interfere in our lives unless we ask for their assistance. The first time I connected with Archangel Michael. My mediumship had kind of gone crazy. I was hearing and seeing things all the time. And it was after my liver had failed, and that had made me more sensitive, I believe. So this is how the conversation went. I felt this pressure on my head to the point where I sat down in my chair and I thought, who is this? And I heard Archangel Michael. And I said, no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. And I'm like, well, why would an archangel be talking to me? And that was kind of my thought process. But he said, Melissa, because we connect with anybody that needs our help. You do not have to be a light worker to connect with angel energies. You just have to know that that energy is there and just call it in. So because of the pressure that I was feeling in my head and because of the physical sensations, it made me believe that I was connected with an angel versus when I talked to a regular everyday spirit dead person. Because the energy affected my body in such a different manner. And I channeled them at churches when I go to do my inspirational talks. And like the last time I had Metatron, and I'm shaking and I'm rocking with that energy. So it affects you on a physical level. I believe archangels are the ones that we pray to for change. We could call in to affect our energy because they're a very high vibrational state. So even if you're having a bad day and you want to clear your energies, call on Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, any of them, and just say, please come in and help clear my energy. And that will increase your mood, and if you pay attention, I'm sure you're going to have a physical sensation. Then there are seraphs. There was a seraph named Xander that I channeled for a while, and seraphs are more of the bigger picture. They don't really affect the miracle change that the archangels do, but they kind of watch over like this group. If like Jules and I are supposed to meet, her seraph and my seraph are going to be like, okay, let's make them meet on this day at this class, and you know that's why they're here. And then I do believe we have guardian angels that are with us from the time of our birth, and that stay with us our entire lives. And then we have other angels, and there's 7 or more different levels, and it's not that any one is higher or better than the others. They're just all different vibration and different energy sources. But I could go on for days about angel stories and that sort of thing, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Anybody can connect with them. The more you connect with them, the higher your vibration will go. The more you have that sense of peace that I have. Like I really don't worry about things, and I feel very blessed because of my experiences with the angels. And I do have, here's a little ad for myself. I do have a few CDs. Okay, so I cut these out and pasted them on there at 11:30 last night after a couple glasses of wine. But I channeled 7 different meditations and went and had them recorded. And they're on iTunes and Amazon, and it's Angel Connection, Melissa Gabriel. And there is one meditation specifically for connecting with your angelic guide. But well, it's funny because I couldn't fit them all onto the CD. And so I said, okay, well, which one do I delete? And there's one that connects you to a divine guide and doesn't really have anything to do with the angelic realm. So they're like, yeah, get rid of that one. Because, it's all about the angels. And they do have a sense of humor. Somebody asked me to share the story. I was going over to, those of you that were here last time will remember Norman Pat Hyman that did Akashic Records. And it was very funny because they created a meditation space and they asked me to come over and help make it a sacred space. And I was getting that. I need to call in more angels and create their space for them. So on my way there, it was the funniest thing because I was hearing them like joke around and give each other a hard time. And I'm like, am I really hearing you guys? Like, look, they sounded like brothers teasing each other. And when I got there, like, I was all giggly and laughing, and I'm like, okay, well, because of how I feel, I do feel like I connected with angels, but they're funny. I was laughing the whole way over there. And I get there, and so I'm calling in the angels, and they're telling me where to put them in their corners. And they're like, yeah, put Rafe over in the corner, and Uriel's going to take by the window so he can jump out if he needs to. And they were all laughing and having this good time. And I thought, they're angels. They have a sense of humor? That just seems so weird to me. But they do have personalities, just like we do. What time is it? More questions? Yes.
So you know Jules, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jules and I have been friends for years, and she alerted me because I've always like had this not really negative like aspect, but just like anxiety and whatnot. So she alerted me that I have a negative energy that's attached to me. So I was wondering if it's something I should be afraid of, or
No, it's nothing to be afraid of. And, you know, it's funny because I had an experience a long time ago where there was something, I got depressed and I knew it wasn't me. And, like, my logical thought process was like, well, I'm not sad. I've got so much positive things going on in my life, but what? I was tired. I couldn't get out of my own way. And recently, like within a couple of years ago, a friend of mine told me that I had something attached, and again, I was very tired and run down. And I'm going to say typically, because there's always exceptions to the rule and nobody knows everything from the inside, but sometimes an energy can stay around you that doesn't vibrate as high as you do. And that can wear you down and drag you down and lower your vibration. Doing these type of meditations where you're raising your vibration will kind of push that back, and you can always call in the angels for assistance. And that's what I ended up doing back when I was going through, like, I was having nightmares and I was getting these bad visions, and I really thought I was losing my mind for a while. And called in the angels, and after several, with them working with my energy, was able to get rid of that and get back to my happy-go-lucky, silly self again. So, yeah, if you ever find yourself feeling tired or drawn down and you're not sure why, you know, cleanse your aura, clear it out, do a white light meditation, push that stuff back. Because especially if you do vibrate at a high level, one of my friends said, Melissa, bright lights attract bugs. So, you know, and I've dated a few bugs, I'm not gonna lie. So I seem to attract the guys that are needy and the guys that are negative and whatever. And I think they come into my energy field because I'm extroverted and hyper and full of love. I think I bring them up, and, you know, it's a great relationship for 3 dates. And then they can't maintain that high level, or I'm just too much for them, or whatever happens, and things don't go well. But you're right. Thank you. But yeah, so just be aware of how you're feeling. If you feel like you're down and you're not sure why, call in the angels and ask for assistance. Timmy, did you have a question?
Yeah, I smell cigarette smoke, and we have no smokers. And a couple days ago, I smelled a cigar, and I said to Joey, like, I smell cigar. He's like, it's the wood stove. I'm like, no.
No,
No, I
cigars
said, I
stinky.
smell
Wood
a
stove
cigar.
smells good. Yeah. I don't know who's coming in there. Do you know somebody that's passed that smokes?
Well, I know plenty of cigarette smokers that have passed, but I can't think of anybody that smokes cigars.
Is your house old?
It was built in the probably, would you guess 70? I mean, it's a,
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's
Probably 70s.
super old, but
But
yeah.
somebody else lived there prior to?
yes, yeah.
I feel like it's a relative of Joe's. Like, I'm seeing him and I'm seeing somebody near him, so ask him if he knows somebody that smokes cigars. Like, I feel like I want to say it's like I feel like grandfather's generation, so whether it was grandfather or like great uncle or something like that. So I feel like I'm gonna go back a couple of generations. But that happened to me when I was first starting to do readings for people. I swear their spirits would come talk to me ahead of time to find out if I was real or not. Because they would always come talk to me during the day. I'm like, it's not till 6 o'clock tonight. Oh, you're here early. But there was one woman, my friend Donna's mother came in, and I was getting her with her, like this overwhelming smell. She was a chain smoker kind of smell of smoke. And when she got there, I said, oh, your mom came to see me earlier. I said, she was a chain smoker, wasn't she? She said, yes, she was. So sometimes we get those smells just to, for them to let us know that we're there so that we're recognizing that they're there.
Do you know which smoker? Like for the cigarettes? Because I get that quite often. Like I'll be doing dishes and I'll get a whiff of cigarette smoke or.
Did your grandfather on the mother's side smoke? That's how I feel.
That's what I suspected, but
Because I'm seeing your mother. I feel like it's her father. I don't know if she's aware of it or not, but I feel like she does too. And I don't know if she would ever mention it or acknowledge it, but.
I don't know how she could tell because she smoked so much she'd never know.
Oh, right.
It just blend in.
Because he's around her too. But
I wish he'd not.
he's making me feel like she doesn't pay attention like you do.
No, she'd be terrified.
Also, I don't know, Tori is also, I don't know if she's getting smells or something, but he's making me feel like Tori reacts to him as well.
She possibly could, yeah. I know she's had some, not necessarily him, but she was driving down Route 46, and she said there was this particular spot that she just got this overwhelming chill, and she didn't realize it, but that was the exact location where my uncle passed away in a car accident.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And she didn't know it.
Yeah, nice, good.
And she comes home, she goes,
That's
Mom,
good.
I just had the weirdest thing. She goes, I was driving down the road and just this one spot, I just was just frozen. She goes, and then it just passed. And I said, where were you? And she said, I was on 46, right by the cemetery. And I said, that's where your Uncle Buddy died.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and he died when I was 3.
Oh, wow, that's cool, very cool. Good. So just to kind of explain a little bit about that, over the last few years, the Earth has gone through this shift and change. So I believe people that maybe have ignored stuff in the past, now there's stuff happening and it's harder to ignore because the Earth's, I don't know, vibration, frequency, energy, something has shifted. And so I think people that are sensitive are more sensitive, and people that really didn't pay attention are now starting to pay attention. So it's an awesome thing. I'm going to end there, and we're going to take a break.